lads, I'm going to be giving you a full insight on how to use TradingView. This video is good for beginners as well as people who have a bit of experience that do want to utilize TradingView to its maximum potential. So I'm going to be showing you all of its features, how to use it properly, and how to utilize everything to its best of its ability. So starting off from the very start, we have here you can pick your layouts. You can create a layout for different charts. I'll show you how that works in a second, but let me show you different features that TradingView offers. So here first we have screeners. This tab shows us all the pairs and all the assets you can trade that are available on TradingView, and it divides them in sections from stocks, ETFs, bonds, crypto coins, CEX pairs, DAX pairs, and Pine. So let's go on stocks, for example. Alright, so this is an example of what the stock screen looks like for stocks. Here, as you can see, we have all of the stocks lined up here. It gives us all the information such as the performance of the stock, the extended hours, the price, the evaluation, the volume. Here you can essentially pick and it will give you information on the stock. For example, here we have individual, it gives us the price, the percentage change, the performance in a week, in a month, 3 months, 6 months, and in a year to date. Here as well we have extended hours, we have valuation, we have dividends, we have profitability. So we have all of these things that you can look at and compare them for different stocks. This works for stocks. You can filter this by country as well. So for example, if you want to look at the UK, switch, you can see the UK stocks such as HSBC, Shell, Barclays, Lloyds, all of this you can see it here. So you can pick different stocks in accordance to the country that you want, and you can pick different filters such as change in percentage, the price, market caps, dividend yield, sectors, and whatnot. So yeah, pretty simple to see stocks and other assets such as crypto, dividends. You come here to see everything. Now, as well as that, what else do we have? So we have calendars. This essentially explains all the financial events that we have throughout the weeks, the days, the years, the months. So here, as you can see the different news events that we have on each day. It tells us the numbers for each thing, such as economic, the earnings, the dividends. You can see the information for all the news, the previous news as well. And yeah, so this essentially gives us the forecast, the prior, the actual. This is more custom to people who are fundamental analysis traders that want to see the news events. They can simply come here and see all the information that they need for all the different news. Now, here we also have news flow, very similar to our calendar, except it gives us a bit more information on the actual specific news events for each pair. So we have a news here for XRP/USD 3 minutes ago, another one 3 minutes ago. So this one gives the most recent news on things such as crypto, stocks, forex, and commodities and whatnot. This gives us the more recent news events for the day, and you can filter it by watch list, filter it by instrument, by market. We have lots of different filters that you can use to filter these out. Now, next we have a heat map, but here essentially is the bigger picture for all our pairs, how much they're down, how much they're up. Is basically a very easy indicator to tell us what is up, what is down. This is the stock heat map for the S&P 500 index. We can filter it by different stocks, by different countries. So if you want to look at the Russell 1000 index, this are all the stocks in that index. Here as well, for example, you look at Brazil, these are all the different stocks within Brazil. Very simple. Now, another feature that TradingView also offer is options. So here you can build your strategy. So me personally, I don't use this, but this can be very helpful for people. So here you have a chain, all the different stocks and whatnot. You can literally just review them at a glance here. You can build your strategy here. You can find your strategy here. I think this is a new feature. I haven't used it yet personally. And you can look at volatility as well for different pairs here. Me personally, I don't use this. I'm not too sure how it works, but it's a feature that you can explore if you need. Now, here's probably the most important part. This is the actual market. These are all the different assets you can trade, all the options you can trade from TradingView. Yes, so here we have all of the different markets. From here, you can go full screen and launch the full screen chart. You can see the candle chart from here to see the different information of each candle, the open, the high, and the low, the close of each candle, and obviously the bar graph as well. Here we have the indices. We can pick the world stocks here, crypto, futures, forex. You can pick anything you want to trade. Everything is here. There's a lot of information here for you to look at a glance as well before you go onto the pair, before you can start trading. TradingView also has a feature that includes a community, so you can actually see different posts from different people, different outlooks and analysis from other traders, what they're thinking about the market. For example, here we have what tokens you should analyze next: Bitcoin, gold 1 hour chart. This can be very helpful if you want some clarification on different ideas on a pair that you might be trading. For example, Bitcoin, you can see a lot of analysis here of Bitcoin and gold as well, just giving you a little insight on how other people are thinking. But right now, let me run through probably the most important thing. So here is an analysis of all the tools that are present within TradingView. So here is the main chart. This is what you're going to be looking at most of the time. For example, this is the chart for Euro USD. And now there is a lot of things here that you can select. There's a lot of things here that you can go through. So I'm going to go through each thing one by one just to show you how they work. So first thing is first here. Here is where you can pick your current asset that you want to trade or the current asset that you want to view. So it makes it very easy. Here you can pick anything. For example, I want to pick gold. Simply type it in and I pick it and the pair will switch. Or if I want to pick a NAS, for example, simply here and switches to the pair. Now here is the compare signal button. From here you can essentially compare another signal. From here you can essentially compare another asset to the current asset that you're on. So for example, if I want to compare Euro USD to GBP USD, simply all I have to do is press new pane and the other asset will show beneath or next to the pair that you're currently trading on. So if you drag the crosshair here, both of them will move in the same distance. So both will move. Here you can change the size, but both will move in terms of how much and how far the back you want to look. Now to exit out of this, simply press this again, press the check. Another thing you can do is press new price scale. This essentially gives you the price scale of GBP USD to the left and the other pair to the right. So as you can see, both pairs are on the same chart. So from here you can see the price of GBP USD up here, Euro USD down here. This one is a bit confusing. Personally, I like to use the first one as it makes it easier to see both of them. But this is another one you can use as well if this is tailored to your needs. Another one here is the same percentage scale. So this is quite similar to the other one. The only difference is it actually overlaps and it just gives you a percentage. It doesn't give you the actual price of the pair. Instead, it gives you a percentage change in comparison to both pairs. So that's the compare feature. Now the next feature after that is the time frame. Here we can pick different time frames. Here we have the 1 minute time frame. We have the 1 minute time frame all the way up to the 45-minute time frame. This is mostly for intraday entries. If you want to get your entries throughout the day, minute time frame is what you want to be looking at. Here you also have seconds. This one is mostly available to people who have TradingView Premium. You can view the markets in seconds, interviews, so you can literally see every single price to the second. Here we have the hourly. We have the hourly time frame. This is mostly to check our bias. I have another video explaining how to actually look at bias, how to read market structure, so you can have a look at that. The hourly time frames essentially go over our price action in terms of the day, in terms of the weeks, the years, the months. So this is more of the high time frame side if you want to be looking at bias. We have the daily time frame all the way from a day all the way to 12 months. This is for very, very high time frame. This is mostly accustomed to people who are swing traders or who want to be holding positions for longer periods of time. Now, here you can pick different types of charts. We have the bar chart here, for example. This is what it looks like. We have the candles, which is the most popular, which is what everybody uses. We have candles here. We also have hollow candles, we have volume candles, but this one is available only to premium members. We have the line graph, we have line with markers, we have step line. Me personally, I stick to only candles. This is what I know, but there is a lot to pick from, um, accustomed to your own needs. Here we have our indicators. I'll go for that in a second. So here we can actually save our indicator template. So when you create an indicator, you can save the template right here. Here is the alert button. This is what we use to set alerts on TradingView. So for example, if we see a nice setup, but we don't want to be sitting at the charts and waiting for the setup, simply what you can do is type in the value of the price. So for example, if I want to set an alert at 101, so for example, if I want to set an alert at 18,000, all I have to do simply is type 118. So if I create that alert now, and let me set it to later. If I set the alert, you'll see the line pop up. So essentially what will happen is when price crosses down and it hits this alert, I'll get a notification on my device alerting me that this price has been hit. So this makes it easier for you if you don't want to be looking at the chart too much, or if there is a point of interest in the charts that you want to be notified when it does get hit. As well as that, you can change the message. For example, you can put buy now and buy now here. So essentially when price crosses that line, you will see the notification and it will tell you buy now, or it will tell you sell now, whatever message that you put in it. And you can change different notifications if you wanted to notify you an app, send an email, all of that stuff. So everything is here. Now the replay feature, this is here for you if you want to back test, if you want to look at current, if you want to look at previous market data and essentially do some testing. This is also available to premium members. So replay mode is there just for you to be able to test, look at previous market structure, look at previous market data. This will help you a lot in your journey in terms of actually identifying previous market trends and collecting data. Here we have different chart layouts, so you can have a different chart layout. For example, if I go to compare, you can see how GBP USD is underneath Euro USD. So if I was to press this or this, it would come exactly like this. So if I pressed this one, the current pair that you're trading would be at the top, and the other pair that you want to compare would be at the bottom. And the same would apply to this. The only difference would make they would be side by side like this. You can do this all the way up to 14, so you can have 14 different pairs on the same chart. Very, very simple. Now here is the bottom. Here you can save your chart, you can share your chart to other people, make a copy, rename it to whatever you are custom. I just made an astronaut. You can save different charts here and rename it whatever you want. Now here is where you can search different tools. So for example, I want a line, search up line, on text, search up text. Everything is on the side here, to be fair, if you want to give yourself some ease, but here you can search up if need. So here are the settings as well. So here are all the different settings. In the simple setting here, you can change your colors of your candles. So for example, mine are currently just black and see-through. So if I want to change it from white, for example, to blue, you'll see change the opacity because of the candles change. If I want it to red, if I want it to blue, you can change all the colors from here, but I like to just keep it as white, keep it nice and simple. You can also change the borders as well, change the wicks. We have the data modification for session timings. We have post and pre-market background hours. Personally, I didn't touch any of this. The only things I've touched is the candles, to change the colors of the candles. The status line as well. Here you can actually add different. So for example, if you remove this, if you add this, you can see the title of the pair up here. Remove it, it'll be gone. Chart values as well, you can see all here. I like to keep it nice and clean, nice and simple. All I have there is the logo. So we have another settings is here as well. This goes over currency unit. These are pretty much self-explanatory. So we have other settings as well, going over scales and lines of the charts. We have the canvas, so you can change the canvas color to whatever you custom. You can change it white, you can make it grey, you can make it black, you can make it red, whatever suits you, whatever you like, you can pick. Me personally, I just keep it nice and simple, keep it grey, and then we have all the other settings here to change the colors and stuff and whatnot. We have trading as well, so you can have your buy and sell buttons. If you remove it, you'll see it top left, it's gone. I like to keep this here just for aesthetics or whatever. You can remove this if you want. One click trading, essentially what this does is as soon as you press buy or sell and you have this clicked, it will instantly place the position for you. And we have execution sound, so when you press this and the order goes through, you'll get a sound coming through your device that you're trading on. And we have all the other settings here. We have the alerts. Here is where you can change your alert line. So when you set your alert and the line comes up on the chart, you can change the color of the alert, change the color of the line, custom to whatever you like. I just like to keep it black just to keep it simple. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for the settings. Now here you can take a screenshot. If you see here, download the image, you see the screenshot will be taken and it gets saved to your device. Now here's the most important part of the actual charts. To the left here, these are all the different tools you can utilize while you're on the charts. So for example, here we have the cursor. I'm using the cross currently at the moment. You can change this to dot. You'll see it's a dot moving around now. If I change it to arrow, it's just the arrow. If I change it to demonstration, it'll be this. Me, I like to just keep it on cross, just to keep it nice and simple, keep it easy. Now here we have all the lines. We have trend line. This is very important. This here is a tool used to be able to identify trends. So for example, if you want to tell how the market is currently trending, the trend line gives us all the information we need. So as you can see, trend line is currently going up, so the market was obviously bullish in this scenario. Trend line here is going down, so obviously the market is bearish in this scenario. Another tool that we have here is the rate, pretty much the same thing as a trend line. I don't use this, not really too sure what it does. Me personally, I don't use the rate at all. We have the info line, we have extended line. I'm only going to go through the ones that I use because I can only explain it to the best of my ability. So I'm going to show you only the ones that I use. So horizontal line, this you can put this here. For example, if you have a place and price that you are interested in, you can use this horizontal mark just to mark it, make it easier for you to go back to it. So for example, lows and highs, you can just place your line here, you can just place your line here, you can place your line here. Another tool that I use is horizontal rate. So I like to use this to mark highs and lows. Very simple, just to mark highs and lows. If you have any liquidity sweeps, I use the horizontal ray to line any of them. I use the horizontal ray to mark them out. Another one from here, vertical line as well. If you want to segregate dates and sessions, simply put the horizontal line here and they will be placed onto the chart. Very, very simple. Now, other tools we have fib retracement. This one is quite tailored to you. If you use the fib, if you use OTEs or whatever, this is a very good tool for you to use as well. Me personally, I don't use this for my strategy, but a lot of people do use this. If you find yourself using it, here it is. It's called the fib retracement. Here we also have the GAN box as well. You could use this for your premium and discount zones, just to see where price currently is and where you should be taking your positions. Now, this I don't touch any of this personally. I don't use any patterns. Here we have our long position. So if you want to take a long, if you want to be in a buy in the market, simply press here. You can change the color of your stop loss and your take profit. For me, my profit is red and my stop loss is just gray. You can change it to whatever you like. You can change it to green, change it to blue, whatever you like. I like to just keep it red and gray, make it nice and smooth. Same applies for our short position as well. This is the long position actually yeah, this is the short position. So gray is going over my profit and then red is my loss. So you can just switch the colors, drag it and drop it wherever you're entering from. You can simply just drag your stop loss, drag your profit, and you see your entry and your stop loss and your TB much easier. Another tool that I use as well in here is a price range. So for example, I want to see how many pips a current pair has moved. Simply all you have to do is press down once and drag up or drag down, depending on what you want to look at. So it will give you the information on how many pips, the percentage change, and actual price. Another tool that I use as well is the brush. Very self-explanatory. You can just draw on your chart, draw whatever you want. Same applies with the highlighter as well. If you want to highlight certain parts of your chart, very easy to do so. Another tool that I use here is the arrow. So for example, I want to point at something. If I'm making any markouts, I just put the arrow here, put the text here, type whatever I want. Simple. Let me delete this. Now, another tool that I use from here is the rectangle. I like to use this to mark out my order blocks, mark out my fair value caps, mark out my highs and lows, for example. Quite self-explanatory. Just drag the box on the thing and drag it to your liking. Make it as big, make it as small as you want. Another tool that I use from here is the path. I use this sometimes if I'm making markouts, or if I want to mark something up on my chart. I can use the arrows just to, point at things that I want to see and make it easier for me. Another tool that I use from here is the circle. Sometimes I use this to mark any highs and lows that are of interest to me. You can make this any color that you want, and you can switch it to green, switch it to red. I just like to keep it simple, keep it orange. Now, another tool that I use is the curve. So this here, I like to use this to look at liquidity. For example, here, I could put this here. I can look at this as, a pool of liquidity that we're looking to sweep very soon. Another tool that I like to use is the text. So here, you can place this anywhere, type whatever you want, make the text as big as you want, place this anywhere you like. Here, we have the dustbin tool. So for example, I place this on the chart, type random stuff on the chart, draw random stuff on the chart. Simply, as soon as I press this, remove 3 drawings, everything disappears. You can also use this to remove your indicators as well, and remove everything as well. Very simple. Now to our right here, here you can see our different pairs, so you can actually add a symbol to your liking. If you trade different pairs, you can add them here. So if you want to add the XY, all you have to do is simply press this and it will be added, as you can see. And if you want to remove it, simply press the dustbin here. Here is we can see all of our alerts, all of our previous alerts or our active alerts, so you can see everything here. This, I don't use this, but this is the object table. This is here to see what things you have on your chart. So you see your indicators. If you draw on the chart as well, you'll see the drawing. All of your objects that are currently present on the chart will all come up here. And then here you can look at the different posts, look at the forums. If you have things, any opinions, if you have any posts, if you have any things that you want to say as well, they want other people to see, simply just type it here and post it out there. You have the screeners, you can create in scripts from here, the notifications, bing bang bosh. Let me just exit replay mode. But yeah, it's very self-explanatory. Here, down here, is where you can look at the different intervals. So if you want to look at 1 day and 1 minute intervals, simply press this. It will show you a full days of price action in the 1 minute interval. If you press this, it will show you 5 days in 5 minute intervals. So this is 5 days worth of price action on the 5 minute time frame. Very simple. If you want to see everything, simply press all and it will show you absolutely everything. But yeah, it's very self-explanatory. The more you use TradingView, the more better you'll get at using it, the more you understand the different features and how to actually get around it. So it's just experience. All the tools here as well are very easy to go through. Just go through yourself, go through a couple times and you'll understand everything.